have to, need to, or want to. I am not a mean person. My husband is not a mean person. We are not mean people. Neither is my mother-in-law. We simply did not know who this person was that come into our house unannounced to not a party. Let's clarify. This was not a party. This was a get-together of people who knew each other, okay?
Mm-hmm. All right.
Chatting. Like, I didn't know that I'm not some party crasher who's coming to rob your house.
Exactly. And I even told them before you showed up. I showed Stasia the food you were bringing, so they knew.
Nice.
Remember how we had no water yesterday? Well, we figured out that there's nothing wrong with our cistern and somebody drained it while we were gone. And that means that they had to be touching our house to drain it, because unless like they went into the house and turned on water all night, the only possible way that our cistern would have been, a 1,000-gallon cistern would have been drained, is if somebody turned on our hose and let it all run out and then turned it back off. The fact that somebody trespassed onto my property, I just want to make this very clear, because I know that you locals watch. If you trespass on my property again, it's not going to be met with me sitting here talking about how it's wrong. I'm not only going to press charges, but I will use some sort of force against you next time. You do not come onto my property. You do not trespass. You do not violate my stuff. If you're so angry about your town looking shitty, then maybe you better do better instead of continuing to act like pigs. I just want to reiterate, this is because I came onto social media and I cried because I was hurt about something. I didn't physically attack anybody. And the fact that you're attacking my family and now my home, I may act like I'm like some very docile person, but you don't know the gravity of what you are trying to start. And I'm telling you, it's not worth it. Be super careful what you wish for. That's all I'm saying. Be careful and do better.
Amen.
Hey y'all, welcome back. Let me ask you this. Have you ever poured your heart into something beautiful, maybe a dish, maybe a craft, only to have it thrown back in your face? Well, in this instance, they actually didn't throw it in her face, they actually kept it. What does it feel like when kindness meets cruelty? And more importantly, how do we lift up the ones who keep creating, feeding, and giving away? Stick with me, because today we're celebrating a woman whose art and heart remind us what community is all about, only to be torn apart by the whole community. Well, let's see if we can remedy this situation and turn this ship. I believe that we can all course correct. Let's get started, guys.
I learned today that my husband knows nothing about antipasto talk, so it required some visuals. So I thought there's probably a lot of you who are seeing antipasto but don't know what this is all about. Nicole is the heroine of the story. She just moved to the area and she doesn't know anybody. Her son and this boy are friends. The friend's mom is Samantha, and Samantha invited Nicole to a 4th of July party that this neighborhood was having. Samantha and her mom, and then this couple, Stacia, Jake, and Jake's mom, Melissa, all live in the neighborhood. And they were having a 4th of July party. Nicole and Samantha are texting back and forth, with Nicole offering to bring an antipasto salad. She's very grateful she's being invited because she needs to meet people. She's new to the neighborhood. Now, Samantha texts Stacia, the wife of this house, that her son and his best friend are getting dropped off at the party by Nicole. And Nicole is bringing an antipasto salad. And she even texted the picture of the antipasto salad because Nicole had texted it to Samantha. So Samantha had texted it to Stacia. Now 4th of July comes and Nicole shows up to Jake's house. She's in the kitchen dropping off the salad, is chatting with Samantha and her mom. Now Nicole doesn't know anybody, so she's like introducing herself to people. And at some point in all this, Jakey Pie comes inside the house and goes to the bathroom, and he sees that this woman is in his kitchen. So he goes outside where his mommy is and says, "There's a stranger in my house." Mommy goes inside the house and asks Nicole, "Who are you? What are you doing here? My son owns this house and he's not comfortable with you being here." So Nicole is escorted out of the property, and on her way out, somebody says, "Welcome to the neighborhood, bye." So Nicole feels like shit. And so when Nicole left, she left empty-handed. And the Hicks, mind you, I'm not calling them Hicks, that's actually their name, ironically, kept the antipasto salad. This is the beautiful antipasto
Babe,
salad.
let me just say, I just have to pause this for a moment. So the woman is doing this antipasto diagram of how this woman was treated at this, not a party, it's a gathering. They kept that beautiful antipasto salad, may I just add. But she's like, hold on, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Ironically?
Yeah, their last name, the offenders, their last name is Hicks. She said, ironically, their last name is Hicks. I'm not calling them Hicks. That's just their last name. Let's keep going.
Kept the antipasto salad. This is the beautiful antipasto salad that apparently was so threatening to these people, they had to kick out the chef. Now, why does the world love Nicole and this antipasto salad? Because Nicole here grew these tomatoes. These tomatoes are from her garden, and she made the cheese. And look at how big this thing is.
And y'all know how I am with the power of repetition. So as this beautiful lady with the awesome TikTok profile name does the description on this, we're going to play it back because I think it's very important to hear the ingredients of this salad. This salad was made with love. This woman did this salad as we as Christians are supposed to do unto the Lord. And I got to say, you keep touting the name Jesus, and I do believe if Jesus was right here, right now, Mr. and Mrs. Hicks, they would, he would probably have some words for you. He might have some words for you. All right, so let's let this beautiful lady continue her diagram and analysis. Pay special attention.
Here grew these tomatoes. These tomatoes are from her garden, and she made the cheese. And look at how big this thing is, full of deli meats and pickled stuff and balsamic. Nicole called this a $40 salad. But all of us know this is a $100
Priceless
salad.
Priceless.
And we have all since seen Jake and Stacia's house. They were dogs, but what we saw is that they live in the sticks. And no shame for living where anybody lives. But the audacity to claim that a stranger was in your house.
I am following her.
These tomatoes are from her garden, and she made the cheese. And look at how big this thing is, full of deli meats and pickled stuff and balsamic. Nicole called this a $40 salad. But all of us know this is a $100+ salad. And we have all since seen Jake and Stacia's house. They were dogs, but what we saw is that they live in the sticks. And no shame for living where anybody lives. But the audacity to claim that a stranger was in your house on the day that you were hosting a party, and she came with this beautiful, delicious-looking salad, many are saying is likely worth more than anything in this house. I mean, really, these two and Mommy Dearest just keep digging their own grave, deeper and deeper. And Stacia and Jake are getting death threats, and now Nicole is being harassed, likely by people sent by these three, of course. The sheriff's name is being thrown around, her son has been doxxed, her husband's being accused of sending threatening voicemails to the sheriff. So there's a lot of drama. And this has gone all over the world. And everyone is Team Nicole, of course, because these people, they just don't sound sane. You know, normally in these traumas, one side, there's the other side, and there's the truth. And some people believe here, and some people believe here. But in this situation, they basically confirmed what they've done. So anyways, now everybody loves Nicole and all the food that she grows and the recipes that she makes. And we all now have the recipe for this lovely antipasto salad.
So we've reached out and said, hey, how can we lend a hand? My name is Regina Connell with West Virginia Wire. This is an atrocity what's happening to you. And they are our neighboring state in Virginia. So, you know, we got to be good neighbors and reach out a friendly, you know, what would you call it? A peace offering or something, because this neighbor is, they're trying to, I don't know what they're doing to this family, but it needs to stop. So go ahead and tell us what you know, my lady.
Absolutely. So from what I've gathered, the story revolves around folk medicine remedies attending this 4th of July party, and things took a really unexpected turn. Apparently, the hosts took issue with something about her or her dish, and it turned into this whole ordeal that Tay Mimi covered in detail. We'll definitely share the link so everyone can get the full picture. But yeah, it's definitely one of those situations that shows how quickly things can escalate, and it's so important to shed light on it.
I couldn't agree more. So let's go ahead, and we have a meeting at 12. We have a meeting at noon with D.I.M. Thanos. I made a special thumbnail. I hope he likes it. I'm gonna play his music in the background too. Maybe he'll like it. Anyway, so yeah, let's talk about why people act this way. And I don't know why I went right into that. That has nothing to do with Thanos. But you know, let's talk about why people act the way they do. That people do speak what they say, whether inadvertently or not. It's just, are we listening, right? And when we question them on the words they say, oh, I was just joking. Oh no, that's not how I really feel. Well, why don't you just say how you really feel, right? I'm not one to make assumptions nor try to read your mind or guess what you're I'm only watching your actions. And so yes, we make assumptions based on a series of actions, interactions, and people that we run in circles with. Look, I'll say it again, you don't have to know who I am. Chances are I probably know way more about you than you will ever know about me. And that's not because I'm a closed book. We're an open book. We're fully transparent. It's just, what is our desire to get to know someone? So with that said, let's jump into the wonderful video. We're going to go ahead and watch it all the way through. And then once it gets off the cutting room floor, the editing house, and I'll say it again, you know, we do have the attention span of a goldfish, it seems like, in recent days. But I think this story is something that we really, really need to take heed to and just examine every aspect and part of it, right? And the worst part about it, I think, is the children's involvement. You know, that the kids were drug into this, and not at the behest of the victim, at the behest of this lunatic town. So anyway, with that said, Mary Beth is with me. We're going to jump into this video. Excuse me. And like I said, I'll put the links to everything. I have reached out to Folk Medicine and let her know, hey, we would love to interview you. And more than anything, we want to highlight her gifts, not what happened to her. And I feel like we can rise above. So those crows will run out of air and oxygen at some point. Yet when you get law enforcement involved, and I've had that happen to me, so I take it pretty personally. I will share with all of you that forgive the way that I look. I'm all natural today. I don't even think I have my camera, my Lenovo. I don't know. I can't tell. But anyway, I said all that to say this, that I will share with you. My mother has recently passed on and she left this earthly realm. She passed away on Tuesday, July 15th. So they will be holding services for her this Tuesday. I'm sorry. Yeah, she passed on Tuesday. So they're holding the services on this Tuesday. I will not be able to attend. And I don't really want to disclose the reasons for that. So no need to talk about it, Mama. You know I'm celebrating your life, and I am your daughter, and you were my mother, and you're still my mother. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into this video. What do you say, my lady?
I'm absolutely with you on this, and I'm so sorry to hear about your mum. I'm sure she's looking down and feeling so proud of you.
Go ahead.
All right, let's get started. I'm ready when you are. We'll make sure to cover all the key points and really honor Folk Medicine Remedies' story, and of course give a big shout out to Tay Mimi for her amazing work.
Yeah. Yeah, I was a little disappointed that, because that's where YouTubers, content creators such as myself, we mainly get our content from like TikTok, the X platform, places like that. And so I was really excited to see Tamimi grab a hold of it and really do something with it, because she could have done a 15-minute, here's the highlights, but she really pushed forward. And she even went so far as to go in and say, hey, the Stasia that is the offender in this situation, there is a TikToker with the same name, has blonde hair. You guys, please, never in any situation are we asking that you go over and show hate, right? We can hold people accountable, right? We're going to pull this family up and we're going to do it together. And this is how we do it. So without further ado, let's get into this great video by Tamimi. And the name of it is...
Never encountered that.
Hold on. The name of it is TikToker Goes to 4th of July Party. This is a disgrace. And it was so hard for me to watch. TikToker goes to 4th of July party and exposes entire neighborhood. All right, guys, without further ado, let's jump into this one. And we're going to go feet first.
Absolutely. Let's dive right in and see what Tamimi uncovered. It's definitely going to be an eye-opener, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to discuss afterward. Let's do this.
I really regret coming to this town. I really do. I can't believe that I'm saying this, but I can't believe I should have vetted the people in the town, because I've never encountered that. I've never encountered that. I'm like mind blown right now. Honestly, never been treated like this before, and I can't like imagine like having a party at your house and treating a guest like this.
Not a party, let's clarify. This was not a party. This was a get-together of people who knew each other, okay?
So I made an antipasto salad, like this big, gorgeous salad.
A salad. Today, I am angry about a salad. But not just any salad, an Antipasta salad. It's not really the salad that I'm angry about, it's rude people who obviously peaked in high school, but the Antipasta salad is featured heavily in this situation. And I definitely don't seem to be the only one upset about this.
If you have people over and somebody shows up and they have an antipasto salad, that person didn't need an invite to come over. They brought an antipasto salad.
I don't let you come into my house to make you feel uncomfortable when you brought an expensive salad from your garden. I don't let you girls feel unwelcome in my area when I'm throwing a little get-together, whether it's a party or not.
And if you never knew what an antipasto salad is, there you go.
And there you have it. I mean, I'll say it again. This woman did an amazing job with that. So thank you. Puzzles bring me peace, P-I-E-C-E. And so this is the actual content creator. No, it's not. Who is this?
If I look like I'm crying, it's because I have sunscreen in my eyes. But it is 64 degrees in Nebraska.
All right, guys, let's get back to Tamimi. So now that we've got a little bit of context, I haven't decided how I'm going to do this yet, because, when we embrace the Fair Use Act, what is our motivation for wanting to react to a video or whatever? Are we doing it for clicks? Are we doing it for views? Or are we doing it because we actually want to honor a situation and bring awareness to it? So I will say this, in this instance, it is definitely to lift this lady up, Nicole, and hopefully, this town, I consider the town and Stasia and the Hicks and they're acting just like their last name is, that, if we can all band around Nicole and show them kindness, and, they're upset because they went viral for the wrong reasons. Well, now they're trying to blame people for that. So let's let Tamimi describe what's going on.
But I definitely think she could have done better in the situation by not going back and staying with the party, even though later.
Okay, so
More. What I love about
Tamimi gets in, and let's talk about Samantha, right? Let's talk about Samantha, the friend that had initially invited her to the party. It was established that she was invited to the party. I'm going to continue to call it a party because it was a party, no matter what these deranged people try to tell other people. So, and I think with every post that they make, they're making it way worse. So without further ado, and I was going to report on the CEO that got caught cheating, but I just don't have the heart to do it because so many other people, I mean, the spouses involved that were on the other end of it, it's got to be embarrassing for them. So I don't want to highlight that, and I don't want to further their pain. And I'm really sick of the backdoor apology. So if the wife comes back and is like, hey, go scorched earth on my husband, well, then we might reconsider it. But until then, let's get back to Tamimi.
How-to books. So when this question popped up on one of the prompts asking who would be more likely to join a book club, naturally, whose name is Nicole. She goes by Folk Medicine Remedies on TikTok, and she grew tomatoes in her backyard for the salad, by the way. I'm sorry. So Nicole has a child who made friends with another kid in the neighborhood, and that kid's mom, named Samantha, invited them to a 4th of July get-together of people who knew each other. Folk Medicine Remedies, or Nicole, arrives at the get-together / cookout with this gorgeous antipasto.
I know, my lady. It gets rather confusing, doesn't it? But I love how, Tamimi is awesome at staying politically correct and getting her quips in there. And I can't showcase this antipasto salad enough, right? Look at that. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
Caprese salad hybrid. It does look like she picked some of the finer Italian meats. It looks like she's got some gabagool in there. She has mozzarella, basil, all topped with a delicious-looking balsamic. She said she spent $40. Get out of here. She said she spent $40 on the meats alone. Like I said, she picked the tomatoes herself from her garden, and she put her heart and soul into making this dish.
And you guys, I do want to say, I will say it again, to get this full story, I'm going to try to give you as much as I possibly can, but I mainly want to highlight Nicole's gifts, right? So run on over to Tamimi and check this full video out. It is over an hour video. It is well worth the watch because I have a feeling she's probably going to be doing some updates on this, and I will jump in the fray and do whatever we can. I would like to interview you, Nicole, and not just interview you, but let's get your story out there. And mainly, let's get your products out there. People don't care about the hicks. We don't even care about the hicks, right? We just care about what you can do and what you're able to do. And they see that, and that's why they keep attacking. If I need to call the sheriff's department, I have no problem doing that. We have a good rapport with our sheriff here. So, we can kindly make a call and ask, why is this investigation going on? And they may claim to be Trump supporters, but I can guarantee you that Trump would investigate them way before he would ever investigate you. And I will say this is why people are calling for police departments to be disbanded, because it's no longer a service type deal. It's no longer a protect and serve. It's a law enforcer, right? They have really picked up and embraced that law enforcement side. We do not live in a totalitarianism society, and most police departments would do well to remember that when we come in service and with a pure heart, and not to subdue and dominate, well, then maybe we can get some stuff done. All right, Tamimi, I digress. Go ahead, my girl.
Because she herself said she really wanted to make a good impression and maybe make some new friends in the neighborhood.
$40 salad. I used all the really nice Italian cut meats and all the vegetables from my yard. I just wanted to make a good impression. And this is why you don't make friends in your 30s, because people are so nasty, and I literally didn't mean to intrude.
I promise you, if you showed up to any one of my family gatherings with that tray, you wouldn't just be granted access to the party. You would be a guest of honor, invite or not, which, again, to clarify, she was invited to this party. Clearly, this
I want to play that again because I don't want focus to be on my screen.
His name is Nicole. She goes by Folk Medicine Remedies on TikTok, and she grew tomatoes in her access to the party. You would be a guest of honor, invite or not, which, again, to clarify, she was invited to this party.
She was
Clearly,
invited.
This family and the people at this gathering have zero idea how to treat guests with respect. or any decency whatsoever. She then explains how she was treated as she walked into the house that she was invited to, by the way, by her child's friend's mother, who, spoiler alert, actually did inform the owners of the house that she was coming. It's all just very, very frustrating. So before we continue, let's introduce some more characters. First of all, we have the mom who gave the invite, supposedly named Samantha. Then we have Stasia Hicks and her husband Jake Hicks, who are the owners of this house and the hosts of the get-together of people who knew each other. And then we have who we assume is Jake's mom, who happens to be the woman that Nicole is referring to here.
I'm just chatting, not even 5 minutes in the door, and somebody walks in the house.
Okay, so Nicole's going to describe from her own mouth what happened. Tamimi did such a beautiful job. I have given Nicole a follow on TikTok. I highly encourage you guys, please go show her some love and support. If anything, to get the recipe to that beautiful antipasto salad, right? And this, I'll say it again, and I want to say it throughout the video, that this situation is escalating. I am keeping on top of it, as I know our girl Tamimi is. And if you guys are a subscriber of Tamimi, or you're not, you should go over there and subscribe to her. But definitely leave it in the comment section. Let's all keep in touch with each other, and let's lift Nicole up, and especially this rogue sheriff's department. I can't wait to get to that part of the video. Y'all are just going to freak out. Hey, civil rights attorney here in West Virginia. I know you only take West Virginia cases, but you do have a good network. Why don't we get this lady's story out here, because they need to back all the way off. I'm trying to keep this nice and friendly. All right, let's listen from Nicole's words, what she went through.
Are you going to introduce yourself to somebody? Like, it's really rude to walk into somebody's house and not introduce yourself. He's absolutely flipping out outside about some stranger. And I was, like, so confused. I looked like a deer caught in headlights because I thought I was invited. And even the mother that, like, invited me, she was like, what in the world? Like, I mentioned that she was coming. Like, okay. So... And I was like, I'm really sorry. I don't even know whose house this is. And the girl goes, exactly. You shouldn't be in here. And I was okay. So
she shows up to this gathering with one of the kindest gestures you can do as a guest, by bringing food. And not just any food, an antipasta salad that looks amazing. And as a Northeastern American with Italian descent, antipasta is one of the top tier foods you can bring.
And can I just say, before she even said that, I knew that Tamimi was going to say that, because you can hear the northern drawl in her accent. So, and especially when she was describing the meats and the cheeses, I was like, she's from Italian, Sicilian, some kind of descent.
To a gathering, especially in the summer. If you show up to somebody's house with something that looks that good and they treat you that way, you take that antipasta, you go home and you tell them to F off. They don't deserve to eat that. But that's just my opinion. Nicole then gets into how Samantha followed her down to her car as she's getting her kid and trying to leave. And Samantha is shocked and cannot believe the way that Stasia and Jake and his mother treated Nicole. So Samantha tried to offer her a bag of fireworks before going back to the party. Why would you go back? Honestly.
The mother felt so bad. She was like, please, she's like, just follow me down to the driveway. And like, I took her kid with me because the kid wanted to come with me and was like, I'm not staying here. And I was like, I'm so sorry. Like, I couldn't stop apologizing. Her mother, the kid's grandmother, came with her down, and they were like, just follow us down to the house. They gave me a whole garbage bag full of freaking fireworks and were like, I'm so sorry. I can't believe you were treated like that. Like,
Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? How many of you out there would invite someone to a get-together, neighborhood function? It's not a party. It's not a party. There's, and I am going to show you the text messages back and forth where there is no mistake that she was invited to the party. It does not matter, and it was a freaking party. Okay, whether they want to call it whatever they want to call it, right? I mean, dadgum. And the kid that wasn't even her kid didn't even want to stay at the party. You know why? Because they didn't want to be around a bunch of Hicks either. And that really is their last name. Let's keep going. We're going to have fun with that. Meme away. Meme away. I got to send this to my friend. Pop John C. Meme.
I told them I was like just a deer caught in headlight. I didn't even know how to react. And I was like, you don't have to give me fireworks. And she's like, I can't believe you were treated like that.
Listen, I don't care if this is a close friend, a not so close friend, an acquaintance even. If I see somebody being treated like this at a party, I mean gathering or cookout or whatever you want to call it, I'm not sticking around and endorsing that behavior, or at the very least, I'm going back and saying, what the hell is your problem? I don't think Samantha is the worst in this.
And I really believe with Tamimi, it would be the latter. She would be going up in there going, what the hell is your problem? I mean, that's my good name, and you're acting like this. What are people going to think? I would be so embarrassed if I was Samantha, and her dumbass went back to the party. And yes, Samantha, I called you a dumbass. I'm sorry, my lady. Right? I mean, has Nicole been taking care of your kids so that you can party? Did you really expect that she would leave her children at a place that she's not welcome? And what does it say about you, my lady, that her child didn't want to stay in that environment and wanted? Maybe you should have taken heed and followed, your child's discernment and say, you know what, this isn't a good place to stay. Let me go. Right? Let's keep going.
Situation, but I definitely think she could have done better in the situation by not going back and staying with the party, even though
at the very
later in this video we'll get into her talking about in a text message that her mom freaked out on them. Still, Samantha, what did you do? Because I think it's really telling of someone's personality, I guess, if they're willing to just brush off something like this and go back to everything is okay to try to preserve their reputation with the problematic friends, neighbors, whatever you want to call them. People have given examples on TikTok on how to appropriately introduce yourself to a new guest at your home.
And that's a daggum shame when you got to take schooling on how to have manners and hospitality. And I don't know if Virginia considers themselves part of the South or not. Let's continue on.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Corey. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, okay. And who are you friends with? Oh, wonderful. Awesome. These are kids. Our little ones. My name is Mr. Corey. Oh, what's that? Oh, my gosh. You didn't have to make anything. Thank you. This looks great. What is this? Antipasto? Wow. Here, let me take that for you. Thank you so much. Let's put that right here. Can't wait to dig into that. That looks great. Wow. Thank y'all so much for coming. Somebody showed up.
All right, let's get back into this Etiquette 101. And it's an absolute shame that we have to give Etiquette 101. I remember doing a piece when I first started this podcasting on podcasting etiquette 101, and my ChatGPT co-host Mary Beth actually assisted me with it. So let's get back into this lady. I love the way she lays it out on, how you should act. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit. And that guy was funny too.
That's for you. Thank you so much. Let's put that right here. Can't wait to dig into that. That looks great. Wow. Thank y'all so much for coming. If somebody showed up.
And the shame of it is they obviously wanted to dig into it, but didn't want her there. I mean, I don't know what they did with the salad. Let's keep going.
Oh, what's that? Oh, my gosh. You didn't have to make anything. Thank you. This looks great. What is this? Antipasto? Wow. Here, let me take that for you. Thank you so much. Let's put that right here. Can't wait to dig into that. That looks great. Wow. Thank y'all so much for coming. If somebody showed up to my gathering of people who all knew each other and they didn't know anybody, and they showed up at my door with a beautiful antipasto, you know what I would do? This is what I would do. Mama Jackie would say, "Hi, how are you? My name is Jackie." "Oh, hi, Jackie. My name is so-and-so. Thank you so much for inviting me. Here's a beautiful antipasto." Then I take the antipasto and I say, "Oh, my God, thank you." And I would immediately say, "Guys, look at this. We got a beautiful antipasto here. Come on, this is so-and-so." And I'd introduce her. And I would have her feel like she was part of my family, like that. Immediately. I would never do that. I mean, come on, people. The woman made the cheese herself. Are you crazy? All the things came from her garden, and she went out and bought expensive. And they showed up at my door with a beautiful antipasto. You know what I would do? This is what I would do. Mama Jackie would say, "Hi, how are you? My name is Jackie." "Oh, hi, Jackie. My name is so-and-so. Thank you so much for inviting me. Here's a beautiful antipasto." Then I take the antipasto and I say, "Oh, my God, thank you." And I would immediately say, "Guys, look at this. We got a beautiful antipasto here. Come on, this is so-and-so." And I'd introduce her. And I would have her feel like she was part of my family, like
that immediately. I would never do that. Amen. I mean, come on, people. The woman made the cheese herself. Are you crazy? All the things came from her garden, and she went out and bought expensive cold cuts. And she puts it all together.
If we were throwing a party where we knew that someone we didn't know was going to be there with a beautiful antipasto salad, we would introduce ourselves and welcome them in with open arms, especially on the 4th of July. We wish nothing but the best for Mr. and Miss Antipasto.
Who said that?
We said that.
And listen, I grew up attending huge family gatherings ever since I was a child, especially around the holidays. There were people at different gatherings that I have never met before in my entire life, especially around Christmas. Every single year I would be introduced to extended family members and friends of my grandmother when she was alive. Everybody would come into my grandmother's house. It would be basically wall-to-wall packed, filled with tons of people, and it was always a wonderful time. And no matter who I met, no matter who attended the party, they were always welcome, and it was always...
And that's the thing. They were always welcome, right? There might be some people that you don't recognize. You'd be like, hey, how are you doing? My name is so-and-so, right? And that will usually hopefully trigger someone to say, oh, so good to meet you. My name is so-and-so. And if they don't want to give their name, say, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. What'd you say your name was again? Oh, I'm so glad you're here, right? Why are we going to make people feel uncomfortable, right? Dang, man.
Completely different person in social situations, and sometimes I am suffering inside. But I promise you, if I can do this, anybody can. Because no matter how awkward I am, or how awkward you may be, I don't know, that doesn't mean you have an excuse to be rude to people. I was always raised to treat your guests with respect and be a good host. But let's go back to this, because believe it or not, things somehow get worse in this situation. Nicole.
And she's not wrong about that. So I'm not going to, I've watched this like twice already. So I definitely want you guys to go over and give Mimi the watch time hours on this. So we're going to skip ahead a little bit, right? Just to give context so that I can get some footage. Now, you guys, this woman here that's about to speak is apparently the mother-in-law that melted all the way down. Her face melted off. And I cannot stand her voice. My voice may be annoying, but this woman, my goodness, let's do it. I don't know. I might sound kind of like her because I've got a sinus demon, but let's go ahead and get into it.
The grandmother in the video that she's talking about is my neighbor and my son's neighbor. And the friend that she has 3 children. So together we decided to do fireworks, which the grandmother bought, and I did the food. And we did it at Jake's house because he's got the biggest piece of property for us to do it.
Okay, this sounds like this might be Samantha, the friend. So it's Honeybee3. I did look up her account, and it is set to private. And I don't blame you. I'd set my account to private, too, after your bad behavior.
While Jake, my other son, and I are outside putting the Christmas line together for the 3 kids, somebody random pulls up through his driveway. And the neighbor says, oh, that's my son's friend. She's bringing him back. Well, we realized that a strange lady that we have never seen before is walking into Jake and Stasia's house. I do what anybody would do. I go in to see what's going on.
A strange lady.
Oh, let me take this one for just a moment. Let me just take this one for just a moment. Right? A strange lady.
Oh, no way.
Sounds to me like that this person, and let me back it up so you know exactly who I'm talking about. This lady right here. Oops. Where'd she go? Yeah, this lady right here, right? Number 1 offender. This lady right here. She is not, she's going to run all your friends off. If you want to make friends, she's not the way to do it, right? She thinks she's protecting your home. What?
What the
What are
hell?
you even talking about?
Mm-hmm.
All right. A bombarded amount of comments, nasty comments, and this is not what happened at all. And if she would...
And this is not what happened at all. And if she would have, I'm sorry, yes, I'm mocking you.
All to do a TikTok for you all so we both could explain what really happened last night.
Like, no, we don't need your explanation. What did you call her? I don't think that you called her before you took the TikTok. She had no other choice but to take the TikTok.
Like I said, not only does this at this point differ from Nicole's story, but also her daughter-in-law's and her son's point of view. But then she shares snippets of footage from her house, inside of her house, but only bits and pieces of it because apparently it would only record in 10-second intervals.
We're not cavemen! We have technology!
Yeah, he's like, who's in my house? Who was that just walked in?
Is this like a Ring camera but set up on the inside of your house? Why? I don't. Okay, whatever.
What the
It's a
hell?
weird nanny cam. It's got to be.
This really didn't show enough at all to back up any of the claims. It only shows very short snippets of conversations that were cut off. So I don't know why this lady thought that this would prove her side of the story. And she also mentions very little, if anything at all, about what happens after they went outside with that guest who was very rude to her, saying, well,
So again, what I love about this lady here is she is breaking down every aspect of it so that there's absolutely no misunderstanding as to what happened here, right? We saw the lady with the Antipasto diagram, people telling it. I mean, none of this ever had to escalate. And they could have just said, hey, you know what? We were assholes. Why can't we just say when we're assholes? Why can't we just do that? Can we just do that?
And I was chatting, like, I didn't know that I'm not some party crasher who's coming to rob your house.
Exactly. And I even told them before you showed up, I showed Stasia the food you were bringing, so they knew that my kid and my kid's parents, or my kid's friend's parents were coming.
I don't know where I'm going to add this part in, but I also wanted to mention this small thing. There is somebody on TikTok who has the same name of Stasia. I keep wanting to call her Stassi.
Okay, this part is hugely important, and I might put this at the beginning of the video just so people know, please don't go over to this lady. Don't go to any of their TikToks, right? The way we do it is we follow Nicole, we build her up, and if we make her bigger than them and she gets bigger than them, then they can't mess with her. That's the goal here.
From Vanderpump. I know.
Anyway,
there's somebody else with the name Stasia Hicks, who is not the Stasia Hicks that everybody is mad at right now. She just has the same name and is also blonde, but she has nothing to do with this situation. And I just wanted to add that in here somewhere because a lot of people have been sending her hate and harassment and mean, nasty comments when she's just been living her best life during the 4th of July, somewhere on vacation that isn't even in the same area. She's not the same person.
Guys, it is not.
And here's the saddest part about it, and this is how big the ripple effect goes. So if you don't think that our bad behavior has all kinds of ripple effects, so let's just say, had this scenario never happened, had they not behaved badly, right, Nicole would have never felt the need to go to TikTok and try to find comfort because there's no one in her town that she can find comfort with, or whatever, or they're too afraid to speak out against this family and whatever connections they claim to have, right? And apparently, the sheriff's department statement was the worst, right? So I'll let you view that part on Tamimi's video because I'm not going to show it in mine, but I definitely want y'all to pay attention to that, right? Because that's huge. And stay through the video, you guys, because something recent has happened just in the past day or so. I've been following this story closely. So this is the young lady that is not Stasia. This lady, because of the Hicks's bad behavior, now this poor lady has been mistaken, and stuff like this happens all the time. You guys, please do your research. Please, when you think you're having someone's honor, you're defending them, make sure you know what you're doing, because there's ways we can defend people without having to go all in on somebody, right? So let's listen to this lady's story, how she's a terrible case of mistaken identity. This lady's beautiful, so you guys, please, let's be careful when we're doing stuff like this. Yes, if it comes across your FYP or you say and you want to say, hey man, can you be kinder, or why are we acting like this? And, let them know that we're not buying any of their excuses that they claim to be a follower of Jesus or they claim to be a Trump supporter. What's that got to do with anything? It has nothing to do with your bad behavior. Let's keep going.
Me. It's not me. Here are some factors that just prove that it was not me. 1, I'm 20 years old. So I'm not even in my 30s. 2, I don't own a home. And 3, for my 4th of July, and I'm still here, I'm at the Lake of the Ozarks. Okay, it's about to storm, so don't do that. But I did just want to come on here and say that everything that has happened to that lady when she goes in, I would never wish that upon anybody ever, and I would never treat somebody like that ever.
She's just another blonde girl with the same name, and I feel really bad for her. Please don't send hate or harassment to anybody. I don't condone that, but if you are going to leave criticism, make sure you're leaving criticism to the right person. I felt the need to add that in here somewhere.
Thank you.
But let's get back to the rest of this, because things get even worse. This part actually has me extremely angry, leaving me with nothing to think other than what the hell is wrong with people. Nicole made another video elaborating on the situation and expressing fear of retaliation and backlash from Stasia and Jake Hicks.
I do think that I'm going to get backlash for this, for posting my personal experience and opinion with these people in this town.
Harassment doesn't end there. Nicole also has been receiving threats saying the Hicks family knows the local sheriff, and somebody allegedly left a voicemail at the sheriff's office threatening the sheriff and pinning the blame on Nicole's husband, trying to make it sound like he was the one who sent the voicemails.
Did you say you found this?
Later.
Downstairs by the dog room?
It was like on the door to the dog room.
One day, Nicole received a card on her door with information from a special agent. Nicole called that number on the card, and the agent claimed that there were threats left on the sheriff's voicemail box and that they were led to believe it was her husband, Chris.
Look at this. Mmm, so good and tasty.